In my 21 years as an esthetician, I have seen so many skincare fads. It's crazy. In this video, I wanted to talk about the tried and true skincare devices that I use in my treatment room that have given me results over and over the past 20 years. Stay tuned. That's coming up next. Welcome back. Christine Byer here, licensed esthetician for 21 years and in 3 different states. I didn't think about that. Yes, I've been all over. You know, on this channel, we talk a lot about skincare journeys because it's never one thing that makes your skin look amazing. It's usually a combination of things. When I was a brand new esthetician, I remember feeling like, oh my God, I have to perform magic here in my treatment room. I have to make everybody look amazing. Oh my God, what's the next device? What's the next bright, shiny object that I can buy? You know, it was so much. It was so hard. I had good professional quality products with high levels of actives. I knew how to use them. I was constantly taking classes. But back then, we didn't have a lot. I remember it was 2003 before I finally found Microcurrent, and then I bought my professional machine in 2005, and it has just like taken off since then. I bought an LED, teeny tiny LED for $3,100 at a skincare show in 2001. So these things, I still have that device. It's a good device. It works well. But as an esthetician, you feel this intense pressure to provide results for your clients. And back then there just wasn't much. But now there is so much on the market. It is crazy. So what's a fad? Okay, well, and I hate to, this company's out of business, but I always thought in my heart that it was a fad. The Clarisonic cleansing tool, you know, those little brushes, they actually sadly went out of business last year. I know people liked them. I was at a spa where I had to sell them, and I thought they were good for exfoliation. Although I did see a lot of problems with people over exfoliating with them. I saw a lot of people who had super oily skin that it would trigger breakouts because of the vibration in it. But at the same time, the vibration wasn't really enough to do much of anything to the skin. So I just always thought it was kind of gimmicky. I was like, God, if I were going to plunk down $300 on a skincare device, it sure as heck is not going to be this Clarisonic. I mean, there's so many better devices out there that really do something for the skin. So what was another skincare fad? Gosh, there's so many. But let me show you a timeless skincare device that will never go out of style. Microcurrent. So there's a lot of different devices now. I prefer small, simple devices that I can just zip, get it done, travel with, not have any issues, putting it on my carry-on. This is the Clairblend Mini. This alternates. It's kind of like the wave goes deeper and lighter and deeper and lighter into the skin, and you always get a variable workout, and it comes in at 340 microamps, and a microamp is 1/1,000,000th of an amp, and the way microcurrent works is that stimulates muscles. So first it stimulates muscles, and so it will lift them, they'll be taut and toned, and then after about a month of use, you notice that your skin looks healthier, it's thicker, it's got that microcurrent glow. Microcurrent, I remember as a new esthetician, I was like, oh, there's gotta be something I can do to these people's faces. You know, I was doing the massage. Of course, I didn't have the advanced massage techniques that I had now, and nobody was talking about fascia back then. So I was like, microcurrent. I found microcurrent and I just went nuts. I had a little handheld device to start, and it got real hot. This does not get hot. This is sub-sensory. You don't even feel it. A lot of people are like, what's going on? It's not hurting. True microcurrent is sub-sensory. We're talking 340 microamps, millionths of an amp. So you still get the lift because it's got that variable frequency. And I just love this little device. If I'm working on a client and I want to give them a nice quick eye lift, I will grab this over my Pro device. I will grab this and just work their frontalis. I work this forehead muscle because when it's contracted, it's going to lift the eyes very nicely. So I will just take 2 and I'll just do this and lift that frontalis. I'll do a little under the eyebrow and they'll leave a like, wow, what did you do? So microcurrent always makes people happy. Another timeless skincare device, a technology I think that's worth having on hand, is LED. Now, LED is all over the market anymore, and there's a reason for it because it works. But what I have found with LED is that the closer it is to the skin, the better. And so I know there are all these masks and everything out there, and those can be nice, but I really like to get that flush on the skin, just as close to the skin as possible so that all the energy is absorbed by the skin. All that LED is going straight into the skin where it needs to be. And even getting an inch away from the skin, like with some of those masks, you lose hundreds of times of efficacy as what you would get if it was flush against the skin. They don't always tell you that, but that's the truth. And then, so this is why I really prefer things that sit flush on the skin. You can use this anywhere on the body. It has 3 colors. I like blending of colors. I feel like you get a better result when you have a blending of colors. So for example, red, infrared, and amber are really good for anti-aging and brightening, general pore size reduction, that kind of thing. Well, you can't, genetically our pore size is set, but you can make them look refined. So this is one of the reasons why I love LED. Plus, we don't talk about this, but if you get a bruise, if you get a scrape, you cut yourself, you need to heal faster, LED is the way to go. It is so awesome. A couple of years ago, I did a video on LED. I had smashed, it was a heck of a day. I smashed my hand in one of those accordion closet doors, and then I shut my finger in the door, the regular door, and I was like, what is going on? It was not a good day. I think Corey was traveling and I was just like frazzled. So, and then I used LED on it and I showed my 2-week results and how quickly it healed. I think when you get an injury and you use LED, that's when you're like, whoa, you really appreciate that it can speed up cellular turnover by 5 times. That a really good dose of LED can remain active in the skin for 14 days. And that's why I don't like this overdosing with LED. I see this a lot. Well, actually, I'm seeing it less now than before, because when these came out about 10 years in, people were just going crazy and overusing them. And so I was seeing a lot of dehydrated skin, what I call the skin uglies, right? Where your skin, you think it should look just rocking and it looking kind of flat and dull and tired and dehydrated, and it's because you've overdone it with LED. It's like overusing LED is like running a marathon and not drinking any water, right? Not stopping for water at all. So we're really asking our skin to run this marathon and not giving it any extra hydration. So I tend to like shorter doses more often of LED and hydrate, add in ampules, essences, because their skin needs that extra hydration to really speed up its turnover like we're asking it to with LED and any device really. Another modality that I have returned to over the years in my skincare practice over and over is ultrasound. And ultrasound I find is exceptionally good at detoxifying and plumping. I think it's interesting that this time Master Pro, it's really hard to find a lot of research on that low end of ultrasound, but this is at the lower end of ultrasound. It's 90,000 waves per second, as opposed to the millions that you see out on Amazon, and you can't feel them at all. They warm up slightly. But this is more deeply penetrating, and so it unblocks things. And I used this on my husband's knee the other day, and I noticed that he wasn't complaining about it because he had knee surgery as a teen. He played basketball and they had to shave down some spurs on one knee. And his mom, God love her, she lives in Trinidad. She desperately needs a knee replacement. She won't do it because they're socialized medicine. I think she's just afraid. I don't know. But her knees are huge. They're the size of like melons, and she goes up and down the stairs very slowly. She's a mess. So he has knee problems that run in his family. Just one session, and it was actually the older black machine. I keep that upstairs, and I just did 10 minutes on his big fat knee. Just 10 minutes. He triggers it all the time. He's gonna go have exploratory surgery and see what they can find because the x-rays didn't show anything. But just one session with this, and I hear these anecdotal stories all the time, like I use it on my elbow, I used it over here, and it's so much better. And I can believe that because what it does for the skin, it's detoxifying to the skin. It helps clear out blockages. It helps the cell-to-cell communication occur better, so the cells talk to each other better. It just does so much, and it's interesting that there's not that much research on what it does, because when this first came out, I was just like trying to find research on the lower end of ultrasound and what it does for the tissues. But it does increase cellular turnover. It brings oxygen to the area, blood to the area. Anyway, I just find it fascinating. So this has ultrasound, this has LED, and this is also EMS, electric muscle stimulation. So this gives a lift, it plumps, and it gives a clarity to the skin. I'm even working on my scar with it. When I remember, because the scar doesn't bother me so much anymore, I was basically born with a hemangioma. If I were to use this, I would say twice a week, just 10 minutes down here, I would probably, I don't know, it's faded so much. That's the thing, it's like I kind of don't care, but every time I use it, and then I'll wait a few weeks and I'll take a different picture and it's smaller, and I'm like, dang, I'm just like, whatever. I have other things I'd like to work on right now. But yeah, it can break down scar tissue if it's old like that and not raised. It's really fascinating. I've seen it break up glycation. So, I mean, glycation is so hard to get rid of. Now, it takes a while, but it does start to break up glycation. And glycation is that cobblestone look we get. It usually starts around the center of the face, and it's caused from free radicals. It's caused from sun and smoking, but it's basically a collagen molecule binds to a sugar molecule, and all of a sudden, what was supple and movable before becomes very dense and hard and immovable and very hard to change. So I was so pleased when I learned and I saw that this could start to break down glycated skin, because that's usually a situation that makes estheticians want to cry, because it's just such tough, immovable skin that's hard to work with. The last timeless modality I'd like to talk about is radiofrequency. Now, this little device, this is the Curve. This is a German-made radiofrequency device. It also has LED. It has ultrasound. This is coming in at 300 kilohertz, so 300,000 waves per second. So it's still at that low end of the ultrasound. This is a 4-in-1 device, but it's got the radiofrequency. And radiofrequency is nice because it adds heat to the skin that triggers the wound healing response and creates skin in a tighter formation, right? That's what we're all looking for, is the skin tightening. So radiofrequency is definitely something good to have in your arsenal. I think if you have a very thick skin that is just tough to get to do anything, we call it a lackluster skin. It could be sun damaged, or it could just be a thicker skin type that really, you have to move heaven and earth to get it to respond. And I find that radiofrequency mixed with LED, radiofrequency mixed with microcurrent really helps that type of skin respond better. So these are my tried and true. You got your RF, microcurrent, also microcurrent. We didn't talk about this, but this is a new microcurrent device from Germany. Super well made. And this is for your eyes. And ultrasound. So, ultrasound, LED, and EMS. So all of these modalities have proven effects on the skin. Heck, I built my skincare practice with microcurrent and LED. That's basically all I had for the first 10 years. Lots of gadgets on the market that really don't do much, but you can be sure that in your anti-aging arsenal, you need LED, microcurrent, radiofrequency, and ultrasound, because they are time-tested, true results devices that, when used with consistency, really help in the battle against aging. Thanks for watching. Bye now.